Now at 5 a.m., WKYT this morning, a judge will hear the law case against a Lexington women's clinic today. Also, a big day in Frankfort. State party leaders will release a pair of dueling budget plans. We'll have the details just ahead. And Lexington police are investigating after a man showed up at the hospital with a gunshot wound.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning to you. Here we are on March 15th. It's your Tuesday. I'm Bill Bryant, and we're glad you're along on WKYT This Morning. We have a lot of news to get to you, but first we want to check in with meteorologist Micah Harris, who says it's going to be a pretty good day out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And what we're going to be looking for the next couple of days, really those temperatures starting to cool off. So today is your best day in the forecast by far. The rain's long gone, so it looks pretty dry out and about. 50s across the region. If you're walking outside this morning, trust me, you'll really like the feel outside. Once we hit the afternoon, 72 degrees. Fantastic day, but the focus of the forecast is not how fantastic today is. It's a pretty calm day. It's the cooler pattern that's going to be taking shape. But how low do we go as we approach the weekend? I know the weekend's far off, but that's where it gets a little interesting. Maybe a little winter in the forecast. And I'll have that coming up in just about 10 minutes.
All right, we're trying to move that on. Thank you, Micah. Today, a judge is scheduled to make a ruling in a lawsuit against a Lexington women's clinic. Governor Matt Bevin's administration is suing the EMW Women's Clinic on Burt Road, claiming the clinic performed illegal abortions. WKYT's Mark Barber is joining us live with more on the case. Mark?
Good morning, Bill. The clinic has stopped performing abortions while they wait to see how the judge rules today. Now, the hearing will start in just 4 hours here at the Circuit Courthouse. Governor Matt Bevin's administration sued the EMW Women's Clinic 2 weeks ago, claiming that facility was performing unlicensed abortions. The lawsuit also alleges that the clinic was unsanitary and had expired medications in the procedure room. State inspectors visited the facility off Nicholasville Road last month after they received an anonymous complaint. It was the first time that the Cabinet for Health and Family Services inspected the clinic in 10 years. When they took a look at the facility, inspectors say they discovered that the clinic did not have a transfer agreement with an ambulance service, which is required. That transfer agreement comes into play if there are complications during an abortion and a woman has to be rushed to the hospital. EMW employees are not talking about the lawsuit, but an attorney for the clinic says that they are taking a timeout, so they are not performing any abortions while they wait to hear what the judge says this morning. That hearing starts at 9. Live in Lexington, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Mark, thank you. And things are heating up at the state capitol. Kentucky Democrats and Republicans are scheduled to release a pair of dueling budget plans today, but Democrats most likely will have the votes to win in the battle there. WKYT's Mike Byer is at our live desk with the details. Mike?
House Republicans say by making some adjustments to Governor Matt Bevin's budget plan would get the federal government to spend just over $160 million on Kentucky's multi-billion-dollar public pension debt. This is according to the Associated Press. However, the proposal all depends on adopting Bevin's budget cuts. House Democrats will have the majority. They say they will reject some of the governor's cuts. Bevin's budget proposal includes making lump sum payments to the pension system for state workers and teachers. However, Republicans want to route the money through the state payroll system instead of just giving the money directly to the retirement systems. Many believe this would trigger a match from the federal government, which covers roughly 30% of state workers' salaries and 15% of teacher salaries. Democratic House Speaker Greg Stumbo believes this plan doesn't go far enough. Now, House Republicans will release their budget plan during a news conference this morning, which is scheduled for 9. The House Democrats will follow that up by releasing their plan this afternoon. At the live desk, Mike Byer, WKYT.
Mike, thank you. New this morning, Lexington police are investigating after a man showed up at the hospital saying he had been shot. Police were called shortly after midnight this morning when the victim arrived at St. Joseph Hospital with a gunshot wound to his leg. The man told police he was shot while sitting in a car at the Park Hill Shopping Center off Manowar Boulevard. Police tell us the victim is not cooperating with them. They say the shooting appears to be drug-related and no arrests have been made. Well, he says he's sorry for what happened, but some of Jackie Heisel's neighbors are finding it hard to forgive after he caused a deadly fire in a Winchester apartment building. Jackie Heisel is charged with 3 counts of second-degree manslaughter. Police say he is responsible for last Friday's fire that killed 3 people, including his own son. In an exclusive interview with WKYT, Heisel admitted to smoking and drinking when his oxygen tank caught fire. Heisel also apologized, but does not think he should be charged with manslaughter. Heisel's neighbor, Jessica Moore, says she feels bad for him, but is not ready to forgive after her family lost everything.
I believe he's sorry. I believe, a lot of it was maybe alcohol related. There's a lot of things that happened. My children had to sit and watch everything that they own go up in flames.
Heisel pled not guilty to 3 counts of manslaughter yesterday. He is being held on a $1 million bond. Heisel will be back in court next month for his preliminary hearing. Police in Laurel County say 2 homes were hit by bullets after a man's target shooting got out of control. Police arrested 42-year-old Calvin Barger following the incident. They say people on Barberville Road near London first called to complain. Police say Barger was target shooting in his yard when one of the rounds hit a nearby roof. And they say another round went into the bathroom of a second home. A man who lives there says one of the bullets nearly hit his wife.
When I talked to my neighbor over there, he said they were shooting guns over there across the hillside from our house, and just like a war zone.
Police charged Barger with criminal mischief and wanton endangerment. Well, the men found out Sunday. Now the UK women's basketball team also knows who they will be playing first in the NCAA tournament. Coach Matthew Mitchell's team was thrilled to learn that they were a 3 seed yesterday. What's more important is the Cats were placed in the Lexington region. And in order to reach the Final Four, UK essentially has to win 4 home games, 2 in Memorial Coliseum and 2 in Rupp Arena. The Cats began their run there Saturday against UNC Asheville at Memorial Coliseum. Tip-off is at 4 o'clock. It will air on ESPN2. But we heard from Coach Matthew Mitchell a little bit ago, and he's certainly hoping for a good crowd of local support as well at Memorial. WKYT this morning just getting started. It's 5:07 here on your Tuesday, and just ahead, a stylish horse is dressing more for the runway than for the racetrack. We'll have that story after weather.
And the rain has pushed on out. And since the rain's pushed on out, that front moves through. Really nice day in store today. The best day in the forecast, but it drops from here on out. How low do we go? Do we have 30s in the forecast for highs? Have that coming up next.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Really nice start to the morning, maybe a little fog out and about, but that's all that we have to contend with. So things are looking pretty good as you step out the door. Nothing really there on the roadways that's going to cause you any issues. Rain's long gone. Temperatures are still in the 50s. So yeah, the front tried to move on through. And when I say tried, what happened is we actually pushed the front through, and then it started to regress. So now we're pushing it back to the north because that's turning into a warm front as that warm air just kind of slides on in here. Temperatures are there in the 50s. It's a good feel this morning, 56 now in Breathitt County. And then we go through the day. Watch these temperatures skyrocket as that warm front moves north of us. At 11 a.m. there for the teachers, playground forecast at 63 degrees. That with mostly cloudy skies could be a little cool, especially if you get a breeze going here and there. But it's definitely not cold enough to get the kids out. You can get the kids out. 68 degrees there by 1 p.m. All of these time frames look pretty good if you're trying to get those little ones outside. So today, mostly cloudy, but still dry. Then we hit the highs in the 70s. It's by far the best day in the forecast. And you know what? Putting this number today at 72 degrees to the number on Sunday is extremely different. It may be a half from what we're seeing there. It's 72, cut that in half. I mean, you're talking about temperatures there in the mid to upper 30s maybe on Sunday. I mean, there's a really nice shot of some cooler air sliding on in. That's for highs. We go in overnight and into tomorrow morning anywhere from midnight to about 6 a.m. is when you can expect the line of showers to roll on through. So that pushes through when most of us are asleep overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning. But still mainly dry after that. So much of your day on Wednesday, much of your day on Thursday. Thursday is a small chance of rain, but mainly dry conditions. Temperatures still turning cooler though. We're going to drop the temperatures each and every single day. We get toward Friday, we'll be in the 50s on Friday, 40 Saturday, maybe some 30s and 40s there on Sunday. And if we do get cold enough with that moisture sliding on in, we could see possibly a few flakes there on Sunday. Is that going to be a big issue? As of right now, no. But still, we're talking about flakes when we were hoping to go ahead and jump into spring, right? 72 degrees today, 68 tomorrow, 50, 40, 30. Here we go, right? But most of your days in the work week forecast, pretty dry. I think the only chance that we actually see a couple of showers during the time a lot of us are up heading out and about during daylight hours should be on Thursday, and that's still 30%. So really a lot of the talk will be Sunday in the next few days as those temperatures just continue to decrease all the way through your weekend. But I will tell you this, it's short-lived. It doesn't last long. As you see on Monday at 45, it jumps up from there on out as we get another swing of warmer air coming on in here. So it's only for the weekend, basically. But still, it's interesting. We're still talking about flakes on the first day of spring, too, which is going to be March 20th there on Sunday. So it's an interesting forecast. It
You
really
just know
is.
there'll be some complaints about that.
Oh,
right?
yeah, no doubt about it. I'll hear it on my Facebook or Twitter
And
page,
we've
yeah.
had such good weather here. It's been
it's
really,
been nice.
really nice.
Been
You have
nice.
to keep that in mind, and we'll get right back to it. All right. Thank you, Mike. It's 5:13 on WKYT. He may be the best-dressed horse ever. A three-piece tweed suit makes one horse better suited for the runway than for the race course. Jeannie Mose has more.
This is the story of a horse that didn't win by a nose. He's a winner for his clothes.
I think Morstead is a bit like the Naomi Campbell of the modelling world.
It took a month for costume designer Emma Sandham King to make Morstead's tweed suit. The former apprentice to Alexander McQueen did 3 fittings.
Morstead is very patient, a very friendly horse, and I think he really just liked the attention.
Sure, it was a PR stunt to publicize England's Cheltenham Horse Racing Festival, but who can resist a horse sporting a white shirt and tie, wearing a tweed suit with pockets?
What does Morstead carry in those pockets?
Oh, horsey treats, carrots.
Are they real pockets?
No, he didn't think he needed to put his hooves in there.
The horse suit required 21.5 square yards of fine Harris tweed from Scotland. We haven't seen anything this snazzy on a horse since the time Scotland's tourist agency commissioned cardigans for a pair of Shetland ponies. I myself once dressed in plaid to match an outfit worn by a horse, but this takes horse dressing to another level.
My only quibble is with the ear holes in the cap.
Not quite up to snuff, a last-minute alteration.
We were debating should the hat go in between his ears or around his ears, and we decided that the ears should go through the hat.
The whole outfit makes Morstead resemble a certain private detective.
Will you tell her Mr. Sherlock Holmes would like a word with her?
And if we could have a word with a talking horse...
Oh, what a fool I've been.
You're not a fool, Morstead. You're a clothes horse. Jeannie Mose, CNN, New York.
A horse, of course. All right, it is coming up on 5:16 on WKYT this morning. Great to have you with us. A lot more news is on the way, including a look at your money.
A fresh start for one grocery chain and what Americans plan to do with their tax refund. I'm Karina Mitchell, and I'll have those stories coming up in your CBS Money Watch report.
Good morning. It's 5:19 on WKYT this morning. Glad you're up and at it and with us as we get this Tuesday off and rolling. Many Americans will be saving their tax refund this year, and Toyota is debuting an upgraded Highlander. Karina Mitchell has the latest on your money.
Investors are watching the markets closely ahead of Federal Reserve meetings beginning today. On Wednesday, the Fed will address the state of the U.S. economy, but interest rates are not expected to rise. On Monday, the Dow gained 15 points, while the Nasdaq gained just over 1 point. New York private equity firm Apollo is acquiring grocery chain The Fresh Market. The deal is worth more than $1.3 billion. The Fresh Market has about 190 stores nationwide. And Toyota will debut an upgraded Highlander at the upcoming New York Auto Show. The 2017 version of the popular SUV will showcase updated technology, including new 8-speed automatic transmission. And more than 50% of Americans either expect a tax refund or have already received one this year. A new survey from Bankrate.com says 31% intends to save or invest the money, while 27% say they'll spend it on food and paying bills. 6% say they'll use the money to splurge on shopping or a vacation. And that's your Money Watch. For more, log on to CBSMoneyWatch.com. In New York, I'm Karina Mitchell.
An internet video has prompted outrage and disgust. A clip was posted over the weekend that showed a man urinating on the cereal assembly line at the Kellogg plant in Memphis. The company says the video was filmed back in 2014. Now the FDA has opened up a criminal investigation. Doctors say urine can carry diseases that can sicken anyone who consumes the product.
The one that you would be concerned of the most is any kind of STD that could be transmitted through, bodily fluid like that. So that would be a concern.
The doctor went on to say there really is not any cause for panic. He pointed out that health officials would know by now if the cereal had caused anyone to fall ill. Okay, 5:21 on WKYT this morning with a lot more news on the way, and sports is next.
The UK women know where they are heading in the NCAA tournament, and it's not that far geographically. Hopefully it's far through the tournament. We'll talk about it coming up in sports.
We're looking dry this morning as you're stepping out the door. Nothing really to worry about as you're taking off. The roadways look pretty good. There's 75 in Winchester Road. I'm seeing no issues, and we're not hearing of any issues as you head out the door early this morning. 50s across the region, a couple of 40s down south toward the Cumberland region. But these temperatures are pretty much what you felt yesterday morning. So yeah, date back to yesterday morning just 24 hours ago, and that's pretty much the morning you're walking out in. Pleasant start, then we get into the afternoon, an awesome afternoon. 72 degrees with mostly cloudy skies. I will tell you this temperature right here will be by far the warmest in your 7-day forecast. I'm going to have that 7-day coming to you in just about 10 minutes. First, let's check out sports, see what's going on.
Good morning, everybody. For the UK women's team, it's on to the NCAA tournament, and last night the Cats watching the women's pairings at Commonwealth Stadium.
We're going to stay, of course, when Lexington's there, and you got to bring up the Kentucky Wildcats.
That's great. So Kentucky gets exactly what they want, a spot in the Lexington Regional starting Saturday against UNC Asheville. And if they could win 2 games, they would move on to Rupp Arena for the round of 16.
A lot of emotion. Whenever the Lexington region came up, I felt like butterflies in my stomach. I want to play at home. I want to play at Memorial. I want to play at Rupp. I want to play in front of the Big Blue Nation.
I was a little surprised, the rumors, the chatter, we were hearing that we might be somewhere else, but it's a great opportunity for us, and we're excited to get back on the floor.
You think about where we were on February the 3rd, 4-6 in the league, and for this team to fight back and win 8 straight against the Southeastern Conference opponent, get a 12 in the RPI, clearly one of the top 12 teams in the country. It's a great reward for a really good regular season.
Congratulations to the ladies. They'll play later this week. Tyler Ulis is not named first-team All-American by the U.S. basketball writers. How do you figure that? Ulis named to this second team, and what that also means, he's out of the running for consensus first-team All-American. The first-teamers are Ben Simmons of LSU, Denzel Valentine of Michigan State, Buddy Hield of Oklahoma, Virginia's Malcolm Brogdon, and Bryce Johnson of North Carolina. Tyler was named first-team All-SEC by the Associated Press, along with Jamal Murray. Ulis scored 30 in the Southeastern Conference Championship, hitting 10 of 17 shots. Then he came away with the MVP honor.
I felt like, for 10 minutes, he was the only guy that scored. He was just, kept going at them, free throws, threes, find Derek for the open shots. And there was a stretch where I couldn't get a shot in. I remember what happened. Somebody blew the whistle, and I just took the ball, tried to do a layup, but I just missed it. I was like, wow, this is not my game. So I just, let Tyler have it. He did a great job of running the team and carrying the load.
And that is a look at sports. The Cats meet up with Stony Brook in Iowa. We'll have complete stories all week long starting tomorrow. Have a great day.